Hey Juventini, welcome back to the All Juve cast, of course, where it's all Juve all the time, and it's a big one. It is a big one. Derby d'Italia Day, okay? Juve and Inter, and this is going to have some major implications of what happens up at the top there. I got my man Omer with me. Omer, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm fine. All is well. Derby Day is always an exciting day.
Absolutely, absolutely. I don't know. We'll wait for everybody to kind of get in here and whatnot. I know we got some time changes happening. Bob's always with us. Good morning, Derby, watch along, and party day. Grazie mille. Time for 3 points. Let's go. Alex, join us. Ciao, ciao, my friend. And Bob is right. Today is a big day for us as well. We are going to be, of course, I'll be having a watch along. I'll kick it off probably around maybe 15-20 minutes before kickoff. We'll tap into Anthony and Lucci, who are going to be hosting the first ever live all Juve cast watch along party at Cafe Juventus in Toronto. So that's going to be pretty exciting, and they have a ton of stuff from Striped Hearts to give away to our guests there. So that's going to be cool. And of course, they'll be vlogging that too, and we'll probably put together something for the channel where you guys can see what that's all about. So exciting, exciting day. Now, the Derby. Let's go. First, we got to get some of the other stuff out of the way, Omar, because, we've got some new kits. Okay, the leaks from the kits. And I want to get your take on this. I know how I feel when up, but I want to get yours. And let's check out the leak for the 2022-23 home kit. This is just the one up closer. I gotta say, at first I was like, "Yikes," but
Hmm.
I very much didn't mind it when you see it a little bit further away. So it's not as bad, but I really don't like the lightning bolts on the Jeep there. But what are your thoughts on this bad boy?
Look, I'm the wrong guy to talk kids with because I think it's the other way around. First, I get some memories from the kid, and then I can associate it to whether it's good or bad. And there were a lot of horrible kids that gave me great memories, so they became iconic in my eyes. And like the what was it, the 2011, 12, the pink one with the star in the middle. Like if you just saw it, it's a horrible kid, but it's Del Piero's last season and a lot of memorable events from that season in that kid, so it became iconic to me. I did see a video of this kid in the store, which is pretty weird actually. Before Juve, wears it to a game, you can already buy it in a store before it's published officially on the Juve site. So I have no issues with it. I At this point I'm just win games, and then we'll talk about the kid. If they are winning and they're playing good football, I don't really mind what they're wearing. But just to answer your question, I have no issues with it. It's not the best kid I've seen, but it's not that horrible. Like the half and half was the worst one ever in my opinion. But this one is not all that bad.
Yeah. So it's like, that's why I say from a distance, they actually do form stripes, which is fine. Up close, though, I gotta say, up close, it's kind of not ideal. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the lightning's gotta go. Like that's just tacky, in my personal opinion. Like that's not doing anything for me whatsoever. You're right, though, in terms of memories. Memories can be established with any of the kits and whatnot. This, though, like for me, just keep it classic for the home. You can get funky with the aways and the thirds, but let's keep it pretty clean for the home
Yeah,
one.
that's the thing. It always
Like
looks bad
this
until you
is
see the third kit.
fantastic in my opinion.
This
Um,
is awesome. This is great.
whether you don't like the gold or not, because some people said, well, then take the gold out of it. But this is beautiful, and the collar is like amazing. And then you have the nice black line to separate it where the collar is from the shirt. Like this is fantastic.
This is a beauty, no doubt. And we had some beauties in the banter era, and I hate all of them. But I get that it's a merchandising thing, and now the Adidas and Nike, they're trying to make kits that you can wear out in public and not just the football games. And at the end of the day, everyone is rushing to buy it, whether it's ugly or beautiful. So I get what they're trying to do, and I get that this is football now, and it's not like any other team gets, gets a good one in
Hey,
a way like Inter's
maybe
one
it's a
are
good
awful.
sign. Look at Gary Lightning. We're gonna sign Thor.
Oh yes,
let's
oh yes.
let's bring in Thor. There we go. So yeah, it's just an interesting one. But this probably is gonna be very very close to it. La Maglia Bianconeri, very credible. Same with footy headlines. So yeah, is what it is. But let's hope for some strong memories with whatever it is we're gonna wear. So great points from Omar there. Now let's get into yeah, some of the other tidbits here going around. So obviously, rumors continue to swirl around players and possibilities. We know that Juventus will be moving away from Dybala and whatnot, and obviously Raspadori is one of the names. Gabriel Jesus mixed in to the things, and we heard Gabriel Jesus's name last season too, actually last summer as well, and it's going to be very very interesting. Just hypothetically, asking you, Omar, your preference if it had to be Raspadori or it had to be Gabriel Jesus. We've talked a lot about Zaniolo, and you and I are on the same page as far as Zaniolo goes. Wait, he's going into a final year if he doesn't renew. I mean, the 50 million price tag, I think we can all balk at when it comes to Zaniolo, based on the concerns. So there's no point in bringing up Zaniolo because you and I we're on the same page, but out of Raspadori or Gabriel Jesus, hypothetically, which would you prefer joining Juventus and why?
Look, I prefer Raspadori. The main reasons are the regular ones. He's Italian, he's young, he has experience in the league, and he does play for the national team. Gabriel Jesus is a weird one because I don't know, like City has no number nines except for him, and he still doesn't play. And they were aiming for Kane, and now they're aiming for Holland, and so there's a reason why he doesn't play. I don't know why, because I'm not all that into Man City, behind the scenes like I am with Juve. But there's something weird with him, and these type of strikers don't usually do all that well in Italy. The ones who are based on pace and quick feet and short. I don't know. They don't do all that well as number nines. As number tens and as wingers is a different story. So in my opinion, Raspadori is preferable, but I would like you to go and look out some other avenues for the number nine. And
Yeah.
besides, we have Vlahovic, Morata is here to stay. We still have to get rid of Keane, so it'll probably cost more. So I'm not all that big on Gabriel Jesus, but if he does come, then it is what it is, and hopefully he'll do better.
Yeah. I I'd prefer Gabriel Jesus personally. I see him as being able to go right across the front three so he can help you. I don't like him ideally as a nine, but he can get you out of a pinch and do it. But I prefer him on the outsides. And I think when I look at Raspadori, I think it's going to be another one of these in between players. And I think we just need to simplify things. Like if we want to eventually end up in a 4-3-3 and create a trident with Vlahovic and then Chiesa, I'd much rather have Gabriel Jesus. That's just me.
No,
Based
I
on
agree with
how
that point.
he plays and what he can do and the characteristics, like I just think, yeah, you slap him on one side, and he can get you out of a pinch whenever you need some across anywhere of the front three. So, but looking at him as a winger is how I'd be looking at it, because I just like him better there, personally. I don't know what's going on with Man City. That's a great point. It is kind of odd and whatnot, but I don't know. I've also heard that Man City's got some big goals coming up in the summer. So I think that's kind of another thing. Just he's going to be the one, if you sacrifice on that particular team, he would be that guy. So it's one of those things. And there's just been rumors. swirling around him for a couple seasons now
Yeah,
of just
in 2 seasons,
trying
I
to
think.
move or whatnot. So it's gonna be interesting. Raspadori, I have no problems with him. I don't know. I have question marks of if we're gonna run into a bit of the same scenario as maybe Paulo in terms of fitting him in and whatnot. And yeah, I don't know. He could mesh fantastic with Vlahovic too. If we want to continue with like a two-man pairing up top, whatnot. But then what happens with Chiesa when he comes back? So for me, I'm looking at 4-3-3. I'm looking more long term. And for that, I don't know. I'm leaning
Yeah.
towards Gabriel Jesus.
Your question was either Gabriel Jesus or Raspadori.
Yeah.
If you ask me, I'm not aiming for any number 10 because just it didn't work with Dybala and he's leaving. No reason to. If we are building on a 4-3-3, then we should look for wingers, and there are far better wingers than Gabriel Jesus. But I don't know, even Raspadori, I'm not all that impressed because we have to remember both Sassuolo and Man City don't play a similar style to Juve style, and we kind of don't see the things Allegri needs, the defensive work and all the link up play in the back, getting just not their style of play. So it's taking them out of the system they know and this attacking football and putting them in Juve where we all players go behind the ball and not pressing all the time. It might be different for them, and suddenly Raspadori could look worse than he does at Sassuolo because they're just all these young fellas. And there's a reason we're not linked to any Sassuolo defenders and only attackers. They're not that impressive
Yeah.
defensively.
Yeah, so Suarez comes in saying, doesn't Raspadori play in the 4-3-3 with Italy? He does. And Sassuolo, to be fair, does rotate in a 4-3-3 as well. But I'm looking more at the characteristics of the player. So if we are going to go in that mode, I want the wingers that are able to win 1v1s and get that ball deep and penetrate defenses. And he's a different style player. So yes, he can play in the 4-3-3, but he's not that guy that's going to beat guys 1v1 and he's not pacey by any means. Like he's decent for pace, but it's a different style. So yeah, I'm just again looking differently. But if we get if we get an absolute bomber of a fullback, that could change things, and that could
Yeah.
make life a little bit easier for a Raspadori type player, as it was supposed to for Paulo. Because this thing about Paulo that he could never play in the 4-3-3 and whatnot, it's not true. But you have to have the right fullback on that side if you want to make it work. Prime example is the Azzurri with Spinazzola and without Spinazzola. Once we lost Spinazzola, that changed the game for Insigne completely.
Yeah.
And we literally went flat on that side since Spinazzola was gone. So that makes a difference as well. So we'll have to wait and see what happens Mercado wise. But Raspadori could be the play. Dybala, he's coming up and whatnot. Obviously, this is a crucial stretch and whatnot. And Joe Cappuccino and myself jumped into the snake pit a couple nights ago and went on with our friend Anthony from Interworldwide, and he had some great questions, and so did his community there. They were all pretty respectful, and actually, if you are ever interested or looking for news in terms of what's going on the dark side there, I would recommend Anthony though and Interworldwide because they do a fantastic job. If you're ever interested in what's going on there and finding out, he does a fantastic job, and he's had us as guests multiple times. We had a good time, but they were talking about Dybala in general, and I asked them some questions in Dybala. I don't think he might stay. I think he's gonna stay in Italy or he goes to Spain. So we all kind of feel that way. But he was. I asked him, would you even want him at Inter and what they're. He's got some interesting takes in terms of Inter as a whole, and he says there was a time. He goes, but if you separate the feelings and Juve made a living off taking their rivals' best players and whatnot. He goes, that side of it, you could see Marotta trying to do it and taking him and whatnot, but financially and where they are and looking at their roster, breaking it down, they have a lot of problems. they have a lot of problems. So he just sees them as not being able to afford it at the moment because of where they're at. But in terms of his quality and whatnot, they had nothing bad to say by any means. Dybala and this crucial stretch. Do you have any concerns with where Paulo's going to be mentally and whatnot, as he knows that the tenure's up, or do you think you see a chip on his shoulder coming down the wire since he didn't even receive an offer in the final meeting? How do you see this playing out for Dybala come season's end here?
I see two scenarios. I'm willing to bet Dybala will be available for the rest of the season. He will play. If he does want the amount of money he asks for, then he has to prove to other teams he's worth it. If he gets injured right now again and doesn't play till the end of the season, no one is going to pay him that reported 10 million. So he has something to prove. He needs to play. And besides that, I don't think it's all that done with Juve. Like if he has a good season, it it could shape out in a different way if he
So we got Omer freezing up here. Everybody that's joining us in the live, I want to know where you guys stand. So we got where Omer's
Al, I
kind of
have to
at
go for a
with him and
second.
whatnot.
Two
You got
minutes.
her. Everybody that's joining us on the live, how do you feel about Dybala coming down the wire, and what do you expect out of him in terms of performances and how he's going to play this thing out? It's pretty shocking still to me that they just separated completely and didn't try to get anything. But it is what it is in terms of. Look, I said this on Anthony's show with Inter Worldwide, and I said if you're looking at this from the standpoint of Juventus, they have pretty much just chalked it up as a loss and moved on. You're at that point, and it's gonna be it's gonna be what it is. You can't take that risk of signing the guy if you are looking to go beyond him. Even if you were going to sign him with the thoughts of selling him, I said that would still be a play because I have no problems in keeping him. Obviously, the club did have issues with if they signed him and then weren't able to move him. So they obviously have some different end goal and have a different vision of where they want to go with this. So they didn't want to take that risk and they chalked it up as a loss. In terms of how I think Dybala is going to finish up the season, exactly how he's played the rest of it. He's been fantastic. His numbers are great, and I don't see anything changing that way. And I hope that, like I said, tweeted it when we first found out about it. I truly, truly hope we can make something great out of the end of this season, make some noise, and who knows, maybe let's add not just one, but maybe two more pieces of hardware to Dybala's tally as we wrap things up. So Anthony saying he's going to play lights out. I think so too. I think so too. Alex coming in here. I doubt Dybala will throw fits. I expect his full commitment till the end of the season. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bob saying door not closed. I'd be shocked if so. Interesting, interesting. And Alex saying the same. And who knows? Relationship might end up being mended. Who knows? That's very, very interesting. Can't see any way back now for Paolo Garrick saying he doesn't see any way back up. This is interesting. Mending the relationship. This is another point I also made is with so many layers on this thing, this whole Dybala thing going on for years. It seemed to me that this season it ended up turning into management versus Antun more than even a Dybala thing, and that's the sad part about it. I can't help but stress how much I feel like Paulo is just so poorly represented and needs to sort something out there in terms of his agent. That's just awful. But injuries have been an issue with Paulo there, and Bob brings it up as well. Mendy injury state. So yeah, but let's see if he can finish up completely healthy, and he plays lights out like many of us think he will, and have no reason to doubt based on what he's been doing this season. I think this could be strong, but is it going to be enough to mend? Who knows? Who really knows? Now, Chiellini. On Inter Worldwide, when we joined, we were previewing this match, and Chiellini obviously was a name that Max threw out in his presser and said, look, Chiellini will be in there and he will be in the lineup. And Anthony was basically asking us if there were any concerns with Chiellini starting. So I'm going to ask this question to all of you in the live. Omer's going to be back with us in just a minute. So he's on his way back, just had something to take care of. Now, in terms of Chiellini, all I could say to Anthony was basically when it comes to performances, okay, when it comes to on the pitch, I carry almost no concerns with Chiellini. My only concern with Chiellini is always the same, and it has been for much of the time now for the past couple seasons, and that's injuries. That's my only concern. But in terms of performance and what he can do for you, I never have concerns with Chiellini. The man is a warrior. He's a beast, so I don't have any problems in terms of that. But injuries, I do have an issues in this particular match. Just you're not thinking he's going to get injured anyways, and why be concerned with that? You have to go out there, you have to win this game. So Chiellini and De Ligt as a partnership is what it is. Now the news with Chiellini coming out from Marcello Chirico, who is very, very close knit with Juventus, has many ties, says that Chiellini will terminate his contract with Juventus at the end of the season in agreement with the club. So we have to get ready to move on from Chiellini. There's no doubt in my mind at some point he will be in the office, but yeah, it's another bittersweet kind of feeling because, you know, I do believe it's time for the team to move on. It's time to start getting bodies that are more physically able to keep up to the requirements and whatnot. But it's no doubt it's going to be a tough one to deal with. This guy has been one of the guys you associate with Juventus for a long time. You think Juventus, Chiellini is one of the names that pops up. And over the past decade of dominance, he pops up there with Gigi Buffon and whatnot. So it is what it is. It's tough. But in my personal opinion, it is time. Now, all of you, I'm asking all of you on the live, first of all, take a second to like the video. Okay. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel. But how do you guys feel? I mean, we're ushering into a new era. You've got Chiellini on his way out. You've got Dybala on his way out. And that's the way it's going to be. So it's another tough pill, but one that has to be taken. So Haneen says, in terms of Chiellini, yes, I have doubts about Chiellini. And one of those goals against Turkey, he was skinned so slow. Yeah, but I mean, ultimately, are we going to believe that say Bonucci was available, he's not going to get skinned? Is Rugani not going to get skinned and whatnot? Like, ultimately, in a do or die match, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have issues. I'm not concerned. I mean, if we're looking at Dzeko and Lautaro up top for Inter, I'm really not super concerned. I'm concerned with other areas in this potential matchup, and we'll get to it once we get to the lineups. But I don't really have too many concerns with Chiellini. So what are you saying? Who will be the captain next season with both Dybala and Chiellini gone? Well, I think it's probably going to end up being Bonucci. I think it'll probably be Bonucci because Bonucci will be around, but it'll be interesting to see if it does go elsewhere based on the fact that depending on how the Mercado goes, maybe Bonucci isn't a starter and a lock into that lineup next season. That's very, very interesting. Obvious, gut reaction right out of the gate would be give it to De Ligt, who's shown that he can and whatnot. But I think there's a little bit of resistance from the club probably to do it so soon, whatnot, because you know how they think things through in Italy and whatnot. And he's got to put the time in and be interesting to see. But Quadrado, Georg comes in with Quadrado in terms of the time and how many years he's put in. He could be one of the guys that carries the armband next season. It's very, very interesting to think about. And also, I want to get your thoughts on the captaincy as a whole. Okay, because a lot of people don't even put that much weight on the armband anymore. They just say, it is what it is. Give it to anybody. It doesn't really matter. And that's kind of it's kind of an interesting thing. I think it's strange when you think about it in terms of Juve. And the reason is just because you've had Ale forever. And then you went into Buffon, who had it forever. And they had certain characteristics. And that kind of shapes the way you think and the way you see a captain being and what they need to do to carry that through. So it's difficult when you're thinking in that regards. But ultimately, the captaincy can really go to whoever it is, and it's not the be all end all. But Georg is right in terms of the captain's armband and whatnot. Potentially Quadrado. So Omer is back. Omar, we got a couple scenarios. The first one, I was talking to everybody on the live and getting their thoughts on Chiellini, as we know Max said in his presser he's going to be starting. Do you have any concerns with Chiellini starting? I was asked that by Anthony from Inter Worldwide. I said, I have no concerns with him performance-wise. My concern with him is just injuries and whatnot, but no concerns there. We know he's coming to an end this season. Your thoughts on, do you have any concerns playing Chiellini in this one? And how do you feel about his time coming to an end?
I have no concern with him playing. He's always performed in big games. Oh, look who's in.
Oh,
Look who's in.
we got
Rolling back the years.
Anthony jumping on here now.
I didn't know if Omer was back. I was just going to jump in here to help out a
I
little
am.
bit until Omer came back. But
Yeah, I
Hey,
might
might as
have
well
to
stick
jump
around.
off again.
Let's go.
Yeah, stick around
gotta
because I might have to jump off again.
I got a couple minutes, sure.
Well, Chiellini is just a big game player. He's always there when he plays in big games. He always performs. I have no issues with him. Thinking about his time with Juve and him leaving at the end of the season, I already want to cry because you don't usually get to love a player from the start of his career to the end of it. And I loved it when he signed. He was a big prospect then, and he came down with us to Serie B, and he was a left back. If some people don't remember, he started as a left back, and then he shifted to central defender because we had a lot of injuries in the Banter era. Andrade, and he played with Legrotalia, and it turned out to be a fantastic center back, and he was always performing even when you were a shit and his partners didn't perform at the same level. And I admired him, and I didn't want him leaving. I was so afraid he'd leave to Real Madrid or something, but he sticked around and suffered the rain and lived to see the sun shining again on Juve. And that's just admirable. It's what you love in a player. There's nothing better than that. So I'm already tearing up just talking about it.
Yeah, Chiellini's been there for so long and through the dark days, and yeah, he deserved to see the best ones and part of that decade of dominance. It's amazing, but I'm with you. No fears in terms of his performance. Anthony, any concerns with starting Chiello?
No, he's got to do it, man. Especially with this is probably his last Derby d'Italia. You got to put him in there today. I'll disagree with Omar. I'm not crying over this guy leaving. I've loved every minute that he's played, but you gotta look forward, man. Time is time. Time's up. Maybe it's because I'm old and I know my time's up pretty soon. Maybe, you never know. But it's end of an era for sure. But we have a couple young guys in the pipeline. I think we have to go out and buy somebody since he's leaving. Rudiger or somebody. I think a big purchase is gonna have to be made at center back now. But definitely end of an era. You want to. Whatever words you want to use, icon, legend, whatever. Another term is Mount Rushmore. Is he on the Mount Rushmore of players who've ever played for Juventus? He's close. But
yeah, he's definitely up there for sure. And we were talking about that, and I just said the same thing to reiterate Ant's point. It's time. It's time. It doesn't make it any easier. sad to see him go, but it is time. We need the bodies. We need to look ahead and keep moving forward. And if we're all saying the same thing, there's no concerns with him performance-wise, but the health thing, ultimately, you're only as good as your availability. And that's a thing that's come up with not only him, but Dybala as well. And that definitely played a major factor in negotiations, 100%. Now, the question brought up by Georg was in terms of the armband. Sorry, it wasn't Georg, but somebody brought up who wears the armband now next season with Dybala, Chiellini gone. For me, it's just it's funny because some people put such an importance on it, and I even look at myself sometimes because when you've had Ale and then you've had Buffon and then you've got Chiellini, you see it in a certain light, whatnot. But ultimately, does it really matter? Because Georg brings up a great point. You've got leaders all over the pitch that don't even wear it sometimes, right? So he says it's an important symbol, but you need leaders all over the pitch. You have captains who are examples and how they behave. Then you have leaders without the armband who don't need it. And his example was Ronaldo was not captain material, but he certainly was a leader, right? So it's a great way to put it. And I pretty much kind of agree as well. And some of the things in All or Nothing really opened our eyes to it. And even Cuadrado. Say Cuadrado now all of a sudden has the longest tenure and gets it based on seniority. He showed me some stuff when he showed me some chops basically when he got in Ronaldo's face in the locker room and called him out for his actions and whatnot, saying, hey, you need to be up here with us. You're a leader on this team. So honestly, I know the jokes and the memes and everything about Cuadrado doing, but I wouldn't have a problem with anybody doing it. De Ligt, in my opinion, could also carry that armband. But your guys' thoughts on the captaincy?
Omer?
Yeah. I don't think players act differently if they have the captain armband or not. It's just something in you, in the way you play and you behave on the pitch. I always like giving the example of other teams. You just need leaders in every part of the field. Like back in Mourinho Chelsea days, Lampard was the captain. Has John Terry acted differently, or Drogba, or Bayern with Philipp Lahm and Schweinsteiger? Players are what they are in their personalities, and if they're leaders, they are leaders. What is going to happen is it's going to be Bonucci and Cuadrado vice captain, and Danilo, I assume. What I prefer the guy is a born leader, but Juve don't tend to give the armband to youngsters, so it's probably going to be Bonucci and Cuadrado.
Yeah, and
Hard to disagree with any of that. My expectation would probably be Bonucci as well. I'd like to see Danilo wear it, even though that's tough. I
Alex threw out Danilo too.
I think De Ligt is the guy in the future, but you just see the way Danilo commands the troops. I think he has a lot of sway. He's been around a long time. In the game, but with maybe not so much with Juventus. But I think he's a true leader, Danilo. When you see him play, the way he acts, the way he maintains his composure, that's what you want a leader to have as well, right? Have composure in all facets of the game, no matter how the game's going up or down. I'd like to see Danilo wear it next year.
Yeah.
Yes, Szczesny is also an option out of the current guys in the roster. He's been there for quite some time.
Yeah, Tech's an option for sure. It's Danilo's rise at Juve has been just crazy but yeah, like in terms of what he brings, how he represents himself, the words he chooses in not only interviews but even his posts and whatnot. Yeah, definite captain material in my opinion. But let's get to some quick trivia. Let's get trivia out of the way. Obviously, Omar, unfortunately, for everybody on the live, is a part of this show today, and it's going to make things tough for you, but we're going to see how you can do. See if you can beat the panel. Now, first question. Last meeting between these two teams, who scored Juve's goal?
This season,
we remember the unfortunate one caused by Sandro that lost us
the last meeting in the Supercopa. Okay,
Yeah.
not in the league.
The last meeting between these two teams, yes.
Wait, let me rewind the game.
Yeah.
It was such a long game.
Scored that.
We have a guess from as Dybala from the live.
Who was it? God damn it! Was it Morata?
I can't remember. I honestly can't remember.
I have a blackout from that game. I only remember the last goal.
It's a good one to black out for sure. The ending 100%.
Was it?
Yeah.
I'm trying not to look at the
Wait.
live here, but I was gonna say I thought it was Quadrado, but I don't think it's him. I'll go with Quadrado.
I tend to Quadrado too. I don't remember if it was a penalty
So,
or. I think it's Quadrado. Yeah.
We've got a couple in the live that got it. McKenny. So
Wow, I
McKenny
don't
was the
even
goal
remember the
scorer.
goal.
He
I
had
don't
that
even
half
remember the
turn and
goal.
then smashed it from top of the 18, I think. Yeah. I think
I
that
don't
was
remember
that
it.
particular goal. Or was it a
No
header?
idea.
I can't remember the exact goal, but yeah, it was McKenny. So they got that one right. Now, Simone Inzaghi has faced Juventus 16 times. How many wins does Inzaghi have out of those 16 against Juve?
That's a lot.
Number 2.
That sounds like a lot for like. Has he been
Um,
coaching that long?
Well, yeah, he's been Lazio, right?
Man,
Yeah.
seems like a lot.
I'm
Maybe
gonna
I'm thinking
go
of his
with
brother.
4. I remember
4
2
wins from Omer.
Mm,
We've got 6 coming in from Georg.
I was gonna say 16 games.
Yeah, 16 matches against Juve.
So I was gonna say 5. 5 with a bunch of draws and then a ton of losses. I'll go with 5.
maybe even 3.
3. Okay.
I
so
remember 2.
we got a guess from the live. Dell's coming in with 5. Georg coming in with 6. Ant going 5.
Yeah.
It was 5. It was 5. So Ant getting it.
Bravo, Ant.
1-1. 1-1. Dell slipped it in there, but it's a little late there. A little late. So 5 wins, 2 draws, and 9 losses. Soon to be 10 after today. So in 26 matches against Inter, how many wins does Max Allegri carry?
He
In
lost
how
a
many?
bunch.
26?
Out of 26 matches, yes.
How many did he win?
Yes.
He's gonna have lost a lot like when he had Milan and that Inter team was really good. 26.
17.
How many wins? I'm gonna say 12.
12 wins from Anthony.
I'll go with 14.
14.
Thinking 11, but I'll go with 12. 12.
Okay, waiting for a couple more live, but taking their time. So he actually carries 10 wins.
Oh.
10
Bravo,
wins,
Anthony.
7 draws, and 9 losses. Dell's very, very close coming in there with 9. Yes, 15 from Sori. Everybody thought it'd be much higher, but Anthony brings up a great point too from the Milan days. But yeah, not higher, but he'll add 11 today, right? What was the final score of the first ever Derby d'Italia?
Oh.
Well, was it always called the Derby d'Italia?
Or was it 1929?
Okay.
The 1929, 1930s.
Way back. I just need a final score and the winning team.
Well,
doesn't really matter on the time or any of that.
I think it's there. It became Serie A, so I don't know, 3-2. Juve.
I'll say 3-1.
3-1, 3-2. Dell's coming in with a 2-1.
That's when you use the big leather ball.
It's 2-0 Juve. 2-0 Juve in the first ever. What is the biggest margin of this rivalry ever? Biggest margin victory. Boom. Nailed it.
I couldn't see
6 goals. 9. What?
9-1.
In
9-1.
1960-61, 6 goals by Omar Sivori.
9-1. Biggest margin of victory for Juve. We had to finish up on the positives and the strong suits. Hopefully Juventus adds to the wins. Hopefully Max gets win 11 against Inter. And now let's check out some of these lineups. Let's get to the goods right now. So I'm going to pull up first. Let's get the Snakes. Okay, so let's take a look at the Snakes and what they're going to do. So this is their projected. Handanovic, obviously there. The back, no surprises there. Okay, Brozovic back. So Brozovic back in the lineup there, and this potentially could be why Max has made maybe a particular change, but we'll talk about that. Barella, I hope they play Darmian on that side because that's our left side. So I'd much rather Darmian be there than Dumfries. And then obviously everything else, really no surprises there. Barella, Brozovic, Çalhanoğlu. Guys, your thoughts on their lineup and yeah, just anything. All I can think is it's exactly as expected. I think based on what we're going to do, which we'll talk about after we see it, this could be another one of those games where we surrender a lot of play and we'll have to be sharp in turning things back on them. I would hope Darmian's in there and not Dumfries. But what do you guys think?
I saw something different. I think the Fry is out. I don't think he's playing.
Oh, nice. Everyone I've seen had De Vries in there, so good.
I saw that he wasn't there. He might be there, might not. Same for Brozovic. He just came back from injury. They said he's fit, but not 100% sure he's starting, which is massive because they underperformed massively without him.
Oh, yeah.
Which goes to show, like, we lost some of our best players this season and we still kept ourselves in the race, and they lost one player and they fumbled I don't know how many points, like 9 points in 12 games. They have trouble scoring since January came along, like except for the 5 goals against Salernitana. That's why I'm not overly concerned with Chiellini there matching up to Dzeko. Darmian, and I saw D'Ambrosio instead of the Fry in the defense, which is massive.
It, D'Ambrosio. You're right. I saw one with D'Ambrosio at the back too.
Yeah, they have some problems now, and they get chances, but they don't score all that much. And Çalhanoğlu is not on a great run of form. He started the season good, but fell down afterwards. They're not in a good form. There was a point where they had like 17 points above us. Now it's 1, and it just goes to show how don't take anything for granted. And if we get past them today, it's massive. I assume it's the best 11 they can put out there. So hopefully they will keep on their horrible form from the recent months.
Yeah. Ant, you got anything to add to?
Yeah, I just think it just goes to show how deep Juventus actually is. I know a lot of the fans may have questions about our bench, but you look at all the injuries we've sustained, but we still went on a 15-game unbeaten streak. And then Inter loses 1 or 2 players and the wheels fell off the wagon. I completely agree with Omer. Right now, at this end of the season, it's all about form, and they are not in good form. Now, they're a team that's played together a lot. It's all the same faces. Can they turn it around today? They most certainly can. But when it comes to form and confidence, I think Juventus is a step above on that level right now. But definitely with this lineup and what Juventus is thinking about putting out, I fully believe we can get the 3 points today against these guys.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The thing with form too is usually in these games it goes out the window. So I know that they're having issues scoring, but honestly, if I've always said this, the same for Juve players, and I say it the same for the Snakes here. If you can't get up for this one, you don't have a ticker. You better check it because if you can't get up for this one, you got issues. Brozovic being out, if Brozovic does not make it in, that's massive for Juve because when he's in there, he's kind of tough to keep under wraps, and that almost eliminates one of your guys just in trying to mask him, which is what we've done the past couple seasons too, is just try to rule him out, which is fine. And it's worked. It worked last season actually great outside of the first match we played them. But it'll be very interesting. DeVries not being at the back, enter D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio is whatever, but still having Bastoni, Skriniar back there, still going to be formidable. Darmian, yeah, whatever. Dzeko and Martinez, they don't really concern me. I'm with Anth. I mean, I'm fine playing them. Dzeko's a weird one. He seems to start needing double digit in attempts to get one all of a sudden, whereas he started off really hot at the beginning of his tenure there. But Martinez is also all over the map. Both of these guys are extremely streaky, so I'm not really super concerned there. Now let's get to the good guys. Let's get to the good guys here. This is what I'm seeing the most of out there, so we'll run with this. And let's get your guys' thoughts on our lineup here. Obviously, Chiellini, De Ligt, Danilo, Sandro on the left, but opting for what might play out as 3-4-1-2. It could still variate. 4-2-3-1 is how they draw it up here, but it could make that 3, making a 4 in the middle, and then Dybala playing in that hole. It's going to be interesting, but 4-2-3-1, whatever. However you're going to play this out with this group of players, what do you guys think? How do you guys see this playing out?
And
first of all, can we not get Locatelli in a Juventus uniform by now? Like, it's been
even Vlahovic. I mean, how much money does Sky Sports have that they can't, even just post like a Photoshop? Like, yeah. I mean, come on, you guys. I was thinking, and poor Zakaria doesn't even get the photo.
That's just lazy.
That's a massive diss. Based on who we have available, I have no issues with this lineup at all. I think this is the only way to fit Dybala in. We've had lots of discussions on that. Obviously, you have to start the other 3 up front: Cuadrado, Morata, and Vlahovic. The one question I do have, and I think a lot of people are going to have an issue with it, is why is Sandro starting at left back when he's coming back from an extended period off? But you can say the same thing about Chiellini. I think a lot of us have a lot more faith in how Chiellini's going to play, but starting Sandro on the left could
saving
be
grace would be Darmian playing on their right.
Right, but other than that, I will go out on a limb here, and I'll say, other than that back pass in the Supercopa game, Sandro hasn't hurt us. He hasn't helped us moving forward, but he hasn't necessarily caused goals every time he's out there. So I think I have a bit of an issue with him being there, but I don't think it's the be-all, end-all that he's starting at left back. But that would be my only question mark.
Yeah. Omer, what do you think, looking at this lineup?
I think Sandro is a weird one because just came back from pretty long injury, and we've seen Chiellini come back from injury to the lineup and performs. We also seen Sandro not coming back from injury and underperforming. So I would prefer the Shilio there. There's just something about Sandro's play that is very negative. He always looks back and not forward. He doesn't help progress attacks, with pretty much kills your left side, especially if Rabiot is in there. But God was good to us today. This is the best position for Dybala. We know that. So I'm all for that. Zakaria and Locatelli are going to work very hard in midfield. Last season, actually, it was Kulusevski who man-marked Brozovic, and it worked out well. We actually lost only 1 out of 4 encounters with Inter. But that was Pirlo's doing. I don't know what Allegri is planning. But it looks fine. I like this lineup. It looks good in FIFA and on paper. I don't know how it will shape out. But that's the way to go today, I believe. It's a home game. We've got form on our side. Vlahovic is a monster. Morata is playing well on the left. Cuadrado on the right.
Full stadium?
full packed stadium, no curva for Inter for some ticket reasons I read. They wanted the Juve side wanted more money for the curva for some reason, something weird. I like it. I think it's a good lineup to go with against it.
I think I 150% do not start Sandro in this game. Absolutely not. On paper, this is great. Rabiot's not in there. You've got Dybala, Morata, Vlahovic, and Cuadrado. But I can't help but have some reservations because just the way Inter plays their midfield. If Brozovic is in fact in, then I'd probably have an issue not putting three true midfielders. That being said, it would not be Rabiot. Rabiot would not be in there, but I'd probably change things up a bit if Brozovic ends up playing. Which one out of these guys are you going to put to kind of try and rule him out? Morata? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Dybala? That also doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's kind of a weird one. It's kind of a really, really weird one for me. Is Cuadrado also going to be pinned back too much because of how they attack a lot through Perisic's side as well? It's going to be very, very interesting, but I don't know. I feel like we're tipping the scales in the middle of the park there, going this particular route against Inter. Obviously, hope I'm wrong, but the two-man pivot being Zakaria and Locatelli is going to be interesting. Have we seen that before?
You
Because
want me
Zakaria
to
was
tell
only
you?
around for a bit before getting injured, right? Have we even seen a two-man pivot with these guys?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
thought we
you
saw
know
it
when's the
once.
last time I remember us playing with two defensive midfielders? It was Sissoko and Felipe Melo with Diego above them. That's the last time I remember two defensive midfielders playing that
Jeez.
role. Pjanic and Khedira, but Pjanic wasn't a defensive midfielder. I don't know. I like it. It seems the roles suit the players on the pitch. Like it doesn't seem like anyone is out of position.
I have a feeling it's going to be, which still creates a little bit of awkwardness. I was thinking maybe Danilo will be the one that steps forward a bit and Sandro makes the back three with Chiellini and De Ligt. But that even creates a little bit of weirdness. It's weird. It's just, I think it's hard because we haven't seen this with this group of guys. So it's going to be very, very interesting, especially to roll it out now. But that could work out to our advantage too. The fact that we haven't seen it and Inter definitely hasn't seen it. So who knows? Let's see. But in these games, sometimes all this stuff goes out the window anyways, because you just got to get out there, you got to fight, and you got to get the job done. Ultimately, that's all I care about. And I hope the guys get her done. We're going to wrap this thing up with some predictions. Of course, this is a reminder. This is the channel you want to be on today. Okay, I'm going to be bringing you a watch along. I'm going to jump on probably about 15 to 20 minutes before kickoff. We're going to tap into Anthony and Lucci, who are going to be at Cafe Juventus in TO, rocking it. That place is going to be on fire. Striped Tarts Apparel's got a ton of stuff they sent over to those boys, and they're going to be giving stuff away and having a lot of fun there with prizes. So guys, make sure you join in. They're also going to join us for the halftime just for a little bit, and then a little bit in post-match. And then, of course, tomorrow is going to be where we break it down on the podcast. Reminder, like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I'll see you all before this match 15 to 20 minutes prior. Now, predictions. Let's get to this. We're going to pick somebody also to try and win some stickers. The last two won sticker sets from stripedtartsapparel.com. So we're going to pick somebody else to try and get the job done. And John Stewart, if you're kicking around, okay, you're up. You're up, John Stewart. Okay, we've seen you in here a bunch. You've been chosen. But guys, let's kick it off with a little bit of the tiebreaker stuff. And let's go with total offsides first for Juventus in this one. Omer.
Total of sides?
Yes.
Three.
3 for
I'll go
Omer.
2.
Anthony.
2.
I'm going to say 3 as well. Let's get to a possession split. possession split. And
57-43.
Yeah, I think
For
Inter. I'll
For
say,
Inter?
and John Stewart said 4 offsides.
4 offsides for
4.
John. Okay. I'm going to say, 58 Inter, just to be that 1% different from Matt. Omer?
48-52. 48 Juve.
Okay. And John's got 54 for Inter. Okay. Now, let's get to first card, the team in the minute.
Juve, 29th minute.
Juve 29th. Anthony?
I'm going back to the well. I'm going to go Inter in the 56th minute.
Inter 56th. Fairly early one, 27th minute, Inter. I like it.
I'll
It.
keep an
Waiting
eye
for
out for
John's.
John's.
We're going on to total attempts and how many on target.
John's
Total attempts
42nd for Inter for yellow.
Okay.
For
total attempts, how many on target?
9 and 5.
Yeah,
9
that's what I was
and
going to say.
5.
It's going to be pretty low.
Anthony,
I'll
what
go
are you
10
thinking?
and 4. 10 and 4.
10 and 4. 10-4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going 12 and 5. 12 and 5. Waiting for John's. And now let's go to halftime score. Ooh,
John's 14 and 5.
14 and 5. Okay.
Halftime score, double zeros.
Double zeros.
Mm-hmm.
Omer.
1-1.
1-1.
You stink.
Have you seen my coffee coasters?
Oh, I think it's going to be...
No, this is...
One.
I have like 30 of those.
1-0. 1-0.
Just leave that on for the rest of the show, Omer.
For Juve.
Yeah, I need one that fits the beard. Yeah, this one.
1-0 Juve at half. John's got 1-1. Full-time
1-0
score,
Juve.
guys.
Ones. 1-1. 1-1 final for me.
1-1 final for Anthony. Omer.
Yeah, I should have put it on in the trivia to keep my poker face. I'm going to go with 3-1 Juve.
3-1.
So does John Stewart at the exact same time as he said it. John came in with the 3-1 as well.
I told you in the group chat midweek, Juve are going to
2-1
put on a
Juventus
show.
for me. 2-1 Juventus for me.
I really think this game's going to stink. I think it's going to be like a really cagey, I don't think it's going to be good at all.
This is going to be a 2-1.
I think it's going to be pretty tough to watch.
And it's going to be a controversial winner. Okay, because what is the Derby d'Italia without a little bit of controversy, a little bit of spice? Controversial winner, 2-1. Guys, who do you have scoring your goals? Ant's got to just pick one Juve player.
Yeah, that's a little unfair, but I can get. But it's the bet I made. It's one I got to lie in. I will go with Deuce on the loose for
Vlahovic. Omar, who are your goal scorers?
Dybala penalty, Vlahovic and Morata.
Oh, so everyone in the Trident getting one. I am going to go with...
Everyone's getting one.
Vlahovic gets one. Morata gets the other.
Vlahovic. John Stewart's going with a Dybala hat trick.
Actually, you know what? Dybala's wrapping up his tenure with Juve. I'm not going to take... No, I'm throwing him in there. Vlahovic and Dybala. Dybala's going to be fire coming down the wire here. Fire down the wire. I like it. John, who's he got? Dybala with a hat trick. Whew.
Oh.
Ballsy.
All your eggs in one basket. I like it. I like it. Well, that's it. That's it. This is it. How's the nerves, everybody? How's everybody feeling? It's pretty confident over scores. We got some some calls out here. But 4-0 Juve from deep. I like that. I like that. Look,
I don't
it's
know.
going to be tough. I think I kind of agree with Anthony. It's probably not going to be the prettiest thing to watch by any means. I don't really care. Ultimately, we just got to get the job done. This is a big, big one. Big one for us, especially even for them too. That's why I think it's just going to be a dogfight. I think it's just going to come down to each guy on the pitch getting his job done because, yeah, all that tactic stuff, all this, it's going to be nasty out there. Inter, I don't think they can afford to take the L in this one, but Juve, there's not as much in it. I think based on where we are, and this is what I've been saying for a while, Juve's in this great spot where we're in striking distance. You know what I mean? And we've created a little bit of a cushion in that fourth slot there, and we're right where we need to be. We can strike. Everybody else's heads are on us as we continue to climb, and we're in a great position to do damage. Now we just got to get the job done. In terms of the lineup, hey, it's what everybody wants. If that's how we're going to roll out, it's got all your best players out there. It's time to put up or shut up. So, yeah, any last words, you guys, before we wrap up and then see everybody for the live watch along?
I think it's
I'm just saying, I'm looking forward to.
I think it's going to be riddled with controversies, refereeing stuff, lots of fouls. Inter are going to come out guns blazing. They need that win more than us. We have, like you said, a cushion. If we do win today, we're like 10 points of fifth place, which pretty much guarantees our top four finish. But the pressure is on them. The pressure is definitely on them. They are the ones who were in first place not long ago, and they just keep dropping down. Lots of pressure on them. Full packed stadium. I expect a just scintillating atmosphere, and hopefully that's what we'll get. So I'm all for it. The nerves are kicking in already since last week. So let's get it on.
Let's get it on, Ant.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm really looking forward to the the live with all the people today at Cafe Juventus in Toronto. Myself and Daniel Lucci are going to be there. Like you said, we have a lot of stuff to give away. We're not going to give away all the stuff. We'll give away some stuff because I'm going to keep some stuff for me, maybe. But not that Al needs to know that or Stripe Cards Pro needs to know that. But it's going to be a fun show. Especially get to meet some of the people that you interact with on Twitter all the time. We have quite a few people showing up, so we'll be sending pictures from there. Like you said, Al, we're going to be calling in intermittently throughout the game. See how things are going with you. We'll give you some live shots of how things are going at Cafe Juventus, and really looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time. Pumped. Wish I could be there because it's going to be such a great time. And you're absolutely right. Get to meet some people that we interact with, and that's going to be just awesome. And just good also because of what's happened for the past couple of years and everything, right? So it's good to get back in a little bit of normalcy. And yeah, looking forward to hearing and seeing from you guys there. Having a good time. Everybody, yeah, the nerves are kicking in. Okay. And big one. Go do whatever you got to do for the next however many hours till game time. What are we at? 4 and a bit. Closing in on 4 hours, 45 minutes from game time. I'm in jacked up. Anthony, how's the guts there?
Gurgle guts. But the good thing is we got a little bit of prep work to do. I got to get to the cafe a little bit early. We're going to set a couple things up, Daniel and I. So I have other things going on.
There
I don't have
you
to
go.
just think about the game. We got other stuff to think
His mind's going to be occupied. Mine, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get up, get the kiddos going. That'll keep me entertained for a bit, but then they're going to be off to swimming lessons, and then I'm going to be basically just sitting here waiting for this game to start, and it's going to kill me. It's going to kill me. But I can't wait to talk to all of you a little bit later for that Matchday Live. Reminder, like the video, everybody. Subscribe if you're new, and we're going to talk to you real soon. I'll be jumping on around 11:20 to 11:30 a.m., giving you a live watch along, and hopefully we can all celebrate a bunch of goals, okay, and a victory against the Snakes. Let's go, Juve. Fino alla fine. Forza Juve. Ciao tutti. We'll talk to you real soon.